Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. Thank you for stopping by. These stories are written for intermediate English learners. Ready? Let's get started. We're going to read you 3 short B1 to B2 English stories. Rose's responsibilities. Rose led a busy and fulfilling life. She juggled 2 very demanding jobs. By day, she worked as a friendly waitress in a local coffee shop. She loved the hustle and bustle and having the opportunity to talk to lots of different people every day. Rose always wanted to make sure that her customers left with a full belly and a big smile. But when her shift ended, Rose's day was far from over. She went home to her little 2-bedroomed house where her second job awaited her. She was a carer for her elderly grandfather. It was like an invisible job. People didn't see what she did, but she never stopped working and caring. She always made sure her grandfather had everything he needed and provided him with comfort and lots of laughter. Despite the challenges that came with balancing work and caring, Rose tried to remain as positive as possible. She enjoyed the quiet moments spent with her grandfather, listening to his stories from days gone by. Though the days could be long and sometimes exhausting, Rose found fulfillment in her jobs. She knew that she was making a difference to the lives of those she cared for, and this gave her a feeling of great satisfaction. Now let's go through some of the vocabulary from this short story. Caring. Caring involves looking after someone else and their well-being, and if you're caring, you show kindness. Sarah enjoys caring for her younger siblings when her parents are at work. Challenges. Everyone has challenges in their life. Challenges are difficult tasks or situations that require some effort to overcome. Despite the challenges, Tom was determined to pass his exams. Demanding. Demanding means something that requires a lot of effort and attention. Emma found her new job to be quite demanding. Despite. Despite means regardless of or in spite of something. Despite the rainy weather, the children played outside happily. Elderly. Elderly means people who are older, typically past middle age, so perhaps people who are 70, 80, 90. The elderly couple enjoyed going for walks in the park every morning. Opportunity. An opportunity is a chance or occasion for doing something. Sarah saw the job fair as an opportunity to find a new role. Positive. Positive describes something that is good or beneficial. Mark has a positive attitude. Provide. To provide means to give or supply something that is needed. For example, the food bank provides meals for families in need. Remain. To remain means to stay in the same place or condition. Despite the storm, the old house remained standing. Invisible. We talked in the story about Rosa's caring job as being invisible. This means that it's something you can't see, it isn't visible. The magician made the coin disappear, leaving the audience amazed. It was invisible. Balancing. Balancing means keeping different aspects of your life or work tasks in harmony. Jane struggled with balancing her schoolwork and her job. Comfort. Comfort is a state of physical or emotional ease and well-being. After a long day, Jenny found comfort in her favourite book. Exhausting. Exhausting describes something that is very tiring or draining. The hike up the mountain was exhausting, but the view from the top was worth it. Satisfaction. Satisfaction is the feeling of fulfillment or contentment. Winning the championship brought a sense of satisfaction to the team. Shift. A shift is a period of work. For example, Sarah's shift at the restaurant starts at 6 p.m. and ends at midnight. Fulfillment. We've mentioned this a few times. This is a feeling of happiness or satisfaction. Emily found fulfillment in volunteering at the local animal shelter. Juggle. To juggle things means to handle lots of different tasks or responsibilities at the same time. Tom had to juggle his jobs, studies, and family commitments. Now, let's move on to the second story, The Scientist. Gemma loved the world of scientific research, where she focused her efforts on finding cures for epilepsy. In her laboratory, she spent hours analysing data, conducting experiments, and working with fellow scientists. She was driven by a passion to make a difference. Gemma worked very hard and often stayed in the lab for 10 hours a day. Despite the challenges she faced along the way, she was determined and focused on her goal of trying to help people with epilepsy, just like her sister. Her sister was diagnosed with the condition when she was 15. Each small breakthrough brought her one step closer to finding a solution that could change lives. She wanted to make an impact in the field of medicine, but she also wanted to help her sister. Now, there's quite a few interesting words in that very short story, so let's go through them. To diagnose or diagnosed means to identify a medical condition or an illness. So, for example, the doctor diagnosed the patient with a severe case of the flu. Experiment. An experiment is a scientific procedure undertaken to make a discovery. The students conducted just means they did it. The students conducted an experiment to see how plants grow in different types of soil. Laboratory, or often just called lab in the lab. So a lab is a room or building that has a certain purpose, and it's usually for scientific experiments, research, or teaching. The scientists worked in the laboratory or the lab to analyze the samples. Research. Scientists do a lot of research. Research is the investigation into the study of various different things, and it is done to try and find some facts or a cure. The researchers conducted, that word again, extensive research to find a cure for cancer. Scientific. Scientific refers to the knowledge, methods, and processes of science. The scientific community worked together to find a solution. Scientist. So Gemma is a scientist. A scientist is a person who is trained in science and whose job involves doing scientific research. The scientist dedicated her life to studying marine biology. Solution. A solution is a means of solving a problem or dealing with a difficult situation. The team brainstormed ideas until they found a solution. Breakthrough. A breakthrough is a sudden, dramatic, and important discovery or development. The new drug represented a major, so a big, breakthrough in the treatment of the disease. Conducting. As I mentioned, conducting is sort of a posh word to say to organise or to do something. It's to carry out an activity. In this example, the conductor was responsible for conducting the orchestra. So a conductor leads the group of musicians to carry out the activity of playing a song. Cure. A cure is a substance or treatment that brings the end of a disease or a condition. The doctors search for a cure for the rare illness. Data. Data is facts or information, and it is usually analysed. The scientist collected data from the experiment to analyse the results. Determined. Determined means having made a firm decision and that you're going to do it or change it. Despite the challenges, she remained determined to achieve her goal. She is going to achieve it. Fellow. A fellow is a person in the same position, or they could be involved in the same activity as you. For example, the fellow researchers collaborated on the project. Focused. Focused means giving all of your attention to a particular object, activity, or task. Despite the distractions, she remained focused on her studies. Impact. Impact is the effect or influence of one person, thing, or action on another. The discovery had a significant impact on the scientific community. Now let's move on to the third short story, Joseph's Rugby Dream. Joseph loved rugby, and he dreamed of one day playing professionally. Every spare moment he had was dedicated to training, and he always pushed himself to be the best player he could be. Joseph played for a local team 3 times a week. He started playing the sport when he was 5 and has been obsessed with it ever since. It hadn't always been easy. When he was 11, he couldn't play for a full season because he broke his arm. He was very upset about it. But with each game, he became more confident and grew stronger, both mentally and physically. Joseph knew that the road to success would be long and challenging, but he was determined to overcome any obstacles in his path. With a love for the game, Joseph continued to chase his rugby dream. Now let's go through some of this sport-related, rugby-related vocabulary. To chase. To chase is to pursue or to follow someone or something in order to catch it or them. The dog chased after the ball in the park. You can chase after your dreams. Mentally. Mentally means relating to the mind or intellect. She mentally prepared herself for the challenging exam ahead. Overcome. To overcome is to deal with a problem or a difficulty. Despite the setbacks, he managed to overcome his fear of public speaking. Obstacle or obstacles. So it's not obstacle, it's obstacle, as though there's an I there and not an A. is something that obstructs or hinders progress or achievement. The mountain climbers faced many obstacles on their journey to the summit. Physically means relating to the body, so there's physically or mentally, which we have just discussed. So he was physically exhausted after running a marathon. Confident. If you are confident, you have faith in yourself and your abilities. She felt confident about her chances of winning the competition. Continued, or to continue, means to persist without interruption or stopping. For example, despite the rain, the soccer game continued as planned, or football game. Season. A season is a period of time characterized by a particular condition or activity. So we have football seasons, rugby seasons, or the weather seasons. Summer is my favourite season because I love going to the beach. Spare. Spare is to give or grant something to someone as an act of kindness. Could you spare a few minutes to help me with my homework? It can also mean spare time. So when you have some spare time, some extra time, you can give it to someone. So here they're basically asking for that. Can you spare some time, a few minutes to help me? Success. Success is the achievement of an aim or goal. Winning the race was a great success for the team. Training. Training is the action of teaching a person or an animal a particular skill. The athletes underwent training to prepare for the competition. We hope you enjoyed these 3 short, lovely English stories and the vocabulary explanations. Thank you for stopping by. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Get productive and check out our language learning productivity packs and short stories on Etsy. We have some of them available to download as a PDF. Don't forget to use code YouTube10 for 10% off, and you can find the link in the description box below. Or if you go on Etsy and search Lovely English Stories, you should be able to find us. See you soon!